Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Deffinition, aka your friendly neighbourhood spoiler man, and a whole host of new leaks have just hit the web in regards to Spider-Man Far From Home. Throughout this video I'll be breaking down everything that you need to know about the recently released spoilers, as well as giving my thoughts on them. This is of course full spoilers ahead, so if you don't want anything about the movie ruined, then I highly recommend that you turn off now. You should always take leaks like this with a pinch of salt, but it massively lines up with other spoilers that have been released so far, so it seems to make a lot of sense. With that out of the way, I just want to give a huge thank you for clicking this video. I hope you enjoy it. Now sit back, relax, and let's get into my breakdown of Spider-Man Far From Home. Okay, so the leaks have been posted to the Marvel Studios spoilers subreddit from user Agnostic Manitor, who apparently saw the movie at the premiere screening. I've added in some leaks from other sources to flesh out the story a bit, as the user's list is mainly bullet points with the first act from the trailers missing. But if you want to read the thread, I'll link it in the description below so you can go through the whole thing after this video. Apparently, the movie opens in the wake of Tony Stark's death at the end of Endgame, and similar to Homecoming, the film has a montage of the heroes that was put together by Peter Parker. This video is sort of referential to the prior movie, but instead of the enthusiastic Parker that we saw in Civil War, it's very downtrodden and sad. Flying home from the funeral, Peter is told by Happy that Tony would have wanted him to become his successor. However, Peter doesn't want the responsibility and decides to go on vacation with his school to Europe. He doesn't pack his suit, however later in the film we discover that Aunt May packed it into his luggage. It's revealed that a small handful of Peter's classmates and teachers were snapped, while the others have aged up 5 years, and this is paid lip service by the fact that one of the students, who was apparently very ugly, is now a model. Their flights are some of the first out after the destabilization of society in Endgame, and the class are touring through Europe as a way to get everyone settled back into education without the stress. This is when Nick Fury catches up with Peter, recruits him, and he meets Mysterio, who is apparently from another world that was destroyed by the elementals. They've come to Earth and are now apparently trying to ravage the planet, though this becomes unearthed later on in the movie. Mysterio tries to become Peter's new mentor and attempts to manipulate him by using Tony Stark and Iron Man visions. This is because he wants Peter to quit being Spider-Man so that he can continue being praised as a hero. In the film, it's revealed that Mysterio is not actually from the multiverse and has been lying the entire time. Mysterio uses projections, drone equipment, and other things to make the elementals. He used to work for Tony Stark but was fired, and when Stark disappeared in Infinity War, he stole some tech. Now that Tony is dead, he finally sees this as an opportunity to rise up and take his place as a hero without any real questions, as the world is still recovering from Endgame. Peter is introduced to the new high tech that belonged to Iron Man, and in the movie he gets help from Happy and quote unquote Fury, which I'll get into later, and contrary to other leaks and rumours, there is no Tony Stark AI in Peter's suit or in his high-tech lab. However, in the lab, Peter makes a new black and red suit by combining the red and blue one with the stealth suit. He thinks the stealth suit's too clunky, and the scene's sort of a fun montage of him cobbling it together. As Peter takes Mysterio on, Ned and MJ are also brought into the fight, with MJ smashing a lot of the drones with a mace. This is where the MJ Funko Pop comes into play and explains why the character had this weapon in the release. The movie ends with Michelle and Peter officially dating, however, it's not really a happy ending for the webhead. Mysterio apparently dies at the end and releases an edited version of a tape that shows not only that Spider-Man carried out the elemental attacks, but also that he is in fact Peter Parker. We don't get to see the aftermath of this reveal, and it apparently cuts very suddenly, just like Aunt May's reaction in the first film. But this identity reveal is of course very big news. Fans of the comic book will know that this is very in line with the comic series Civil War, in which Peter revealed his identity on TV and he had to deal with the consequences of it. The first post-credit scene shows more of the Mysterio tape, and then we pull out to see none other than J. Jonah Jameson watching it. The character is once again played by J.K. Simmons, and it's an awesome Easter egg. Now, contrary to other reports and leaks, the final post-credit scene doesn't have the Chameleon, Scorpion, Vulture, Shocker or Mysterio, and most notably there is no Norman Osborn. Early reports said that he'd bought Avengers Tower and changed it into Oscorp, however this is apparently wrong, and the final post-credit scene reportedly shows Nick Fury and Maria Hill transform into Talos and another Skrull. They were asked to take Fury and Hill's place on Earth while the real ones were on holiday, and this is why Fury gets mad at Peter earlier in the film for not mentioning Captain Marvel. That ends the film, and honestly it sounds pretty sick. If this is what gets put on the big screen, then I'll be really happy with how the films turned out. I think the identity reveal, whilst big, is nothing that Marvel haven't had to deal with before, and pretty much all of the heroes in the universe are known by their public name. It of course also ties back to the ending of the original Iron Man, and if this is the direction that they wish to take on the character, then I'm definitely on board. Now again, this should all be taken with a pinch of salt, but there's a lot of leaks floating around that confirm the same thing from numerous accounts, so it seems likely that this is the case. Obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these leaks and if you think they'll happen or not. If you've heard something else, then make sure you leave it in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video then please like it and make sure you check out my full breakdown of the entire J. Jonah Jameson post-credit scene, which will be linked at the end. We go over every detail and discuss Mysterio's motives more in depth, so it's definitely worth watching if you want to know more. I'll leave that linked at the end, so make sure you give it a click right after this. This is a channel for people who are super into superheroes, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this. I've been Deffinition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.